Now, live from Chicago, this is Fox 32 News at Noon.
And right now at noon, a Chicago woman who was shot by a Border Patrol agent is back in a courtroom. We are live at the federal courthouse on the ruling that was handed down.
A new plea in the search for Nancy Guthrie. We are live in Arizona with the very latest.
All right. Good afternoon. Good Friday afternoon, everybody. We thank you for joining us. I'm Anthony Ponce in for Sylvia.
And I'm Natalie Bobke, and we want to give you a look around outside right now. Boy, it looks like the Arctic out there, doesn't it? Things are warming up. Good morning, Caitlin.
Good morning. We still have clouds out there. We have a little bit of snow perhaps as we round the lake. I guess I should say good afternoon. We're at 12:01 now, Nat. It's dry in Chicago now. We had heavy snow actually earlier this morning, coming down heavy, that is. So drops in visibility happen, slippery roads, which still we could have some snow on untreated surfaces in your neighborhood. Just take it slow. Looking behind me, though, that touch of blue that I mentioned, this is going to be rounding the lake in northwest Indiana, LaPorte County. You could be seeing a little bit of a mixed bag of precipitation out there because temperatures are well into the 30s. We're at 37 degrees now at the lakefront and O'Hare, as well as Aurora, 36 at Midway and in Gary, 36 in Kankakee, 39 at LaSalle. Temperatures today are going to be staying in the 30s for a few more hours. Then this evening, we plummet. By 7 o'clock, temperatures are down to 25. We're going to have partly cloudy skies, though, at that time. So the clouds will start to break apart, and that's going to lead to a beautiful sunny Saturday with cold temperatures. It's going to be a chilly first half of the weekend. Then we're climbing back into the 30s on Sunday and the 40s to start off next week. I'll show you that on your full 70 forecast coming up.
We're very happy that the judge saw it the way that we see it, that the government can't have it both ways. You can't call a U.S. citizen with no criminal history who's a Montessori school teacher a domestic terrorist, which is such a loaded word in this country. It's sick that these are federal agents. Like, this guy's a federal agent who is sworn to protect all of us, and like that's what's going through his mind after he shoots a woman multiple times on Kedzie on a Saturday morning. I mean, that's alarming, and it should be alarming.
A federal judge has ruled within the last hour that evidence must be released in an ICE agent shooting involving a Chicago woman.
Saquon has been at the Dirksen Federal Courthouse all morning long. Was in the courtroom here. Say, what evidence are we talking about?
Yeah, so the evidence that judge has pretty much allowed to be released and made public is pointing to body camera video. We know body camera video will be made available to the public here in the near future. We also know that there will be images from flock cameras. I actually had to learn this myself this morning. Basically, flock cameras are public cameras that are sporadically placed throughout a region, and they get information like a driver's information, passenger's information, as well as license plate information. Also, the biggest part of all of this is the text messages that were sent and received by the federal agent who shot Martinez. You know, there was some question about this. This was where there was maybe a little bit of hesitancy from the judge. But we do know that they will be released at a later time, not yet, but we're talking about 200 messages or so sent and received, again, by that federal agent.
Say, what was the concern with releasing the evidence? I assume it was on the government's part, right? They didn't want people to see maybe these disparaging comments by the federal agents?
Yeah, exactly. So the concern was really coming from the U.S. government, and the way they said it was, you know, they didn't want to sully or, in other words, damage that federal agent's reputation. I actually do want to pull up a quote here because I heard this in the courtroom today, and I thought, you know, it really caught my attention. The federal judge said in that courtroom today, in quote, as to Agent Exum, here's what I struggle with. I don't understand why the United States government, after given many opportunities, has expressed zero concern of Miss Martinez's sullying. She's an American citizen, a resident of this district, and presumed innocent. I am not persuaded by the sullying concern. I'm not persuaded by that concern because of his testimony. One feeling that comes through in those texts is a feeling with pride in his shooting skills. This is something that, you know, the attorney for Martinez was visibly upset by. He talked about this, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. Guys, I'll toss things back to you for now.
Hey, well, I just want to ask you, in terms of why, we heard from her attorney there, but why Marimar Martinez really wants this evidence out there. What was the rationale there? Why did she want more evidence released?
Yeah, she called and demanded more evidence because, you know, she was in many ways upset by the rhetoric that was being used by federal officials. You talk about DHS, that was a big conversation in the courtroom today even, how DHS officials were quick to label her a domestic terrorist, and even after dropping all criminal charges against Martinez, they've continued with that rhetoric. So really, her and her attorney have been calling on that judge to release more evidence so that she can clear her name a little bit and make sure that she is not labeled as such.
All right, Saquon, live at the Dirksen Federal Building. Say thank you for breaking that down for us this morning. The Guthrie family has released a second video now begging for their mother to be returned. Nearly 6 days after Nancy Guthrie disappeared, still no suspects, still no person of interest, and no signs of the 84-year-old.
Kaylee Schuyler joining us live now from Tucson, Arizona. And Kaylee, what can you tell us about this second video?
Hi, Natalie and Anthony. So this time it was Nancy's son Cameron speaking directly to whoever took his mom. The video was posted at 5 p.m. last night. Yesterday, I should say, and according to the FBI, that is the same time that's mentioned as a deadline in a ransom note, and the family says they just want to talk.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
The FBI says they're taking the ransom note sent to TMZ and local TV stations in Tucson seriously. They say it came with two deadlines, one that passed yesterday, the next is on Monday. The FBI says the note does not give them or the family a way to communicate with whoever sent it. They say it includes details about Nancy's Apple Watch and a floodlight. But there has been an arrest for an imposter ransom note that someone sent directly to the family. And we have a new detailed timeline from the night that she went missing. It begins at 5:32 on Saturday when Nancy took an Uber to her family's home for dinner. She's back home and the garage door is shut before 9:50 p.m. In the early morning hours on Sunday at 1:47, Nancy's doorbell camera disconnects. At 2:12, movement is detected on the camera, but there's no video of that. Then at 2:28, Nancy's pacemaker disconnects from her Apple Watch, and just after noon on Sunday, the family is calling 911.
We believe Nancy is still out there. We want her home. Our department, the Sheriff's Department, along with all of our partners at the FBI, have been working around the clock.
The FBI is now offering a $50,000 reward for any information that leads to the return of Nancy or an arrest and conviction of anyone who may be involved. Now, the Pima County Sheriff says there probably won't be another update until there's a major development in this case. In Tucson, Arizona, Kaylee Schuyler, Fox Chicago.
Kaylee, has there been any indication about the nature of these deadlines? What was the deadline today? We hear the next deadline that was in the alleged ransom note is Monday. Anything stating what'll happen if that deadline passes?
So really the only thing that we have heard about these deadlines is that, so it passed yesterday, and really that the stakes of the deadline is kind of upped for Monday. So I naturally can only kind of assume what exactly that might mean. But this does seem to be a huge hurdle for the family and investigators to even find a way to contact this person or people who are sending the ransom note.
Kaylee Schuyler live for us in Tucson. Thank you, Kaylee. Back here at home, 2 Chicago police officers are recovering after a crash overnight happened in Jefferson Park near the intersection of West Goodman Street and North Central Avenue. CPD says the officers were responding to a call when the driver lost control and slammed into a barrier. You can see the after effect there. No other cars were involved.
All right, we have more news coming up here on the Fox 32 News at noon. Is AI coming for your job or giving you new coworkers? Why experts believe AI is harming the job market.
We are wearing red today to spotlight women's heart health, what you can do to keep that heart strong. President Trump says the U.S. economy is doing great, but there are some signs that trouble could be ahead.
Key job indicators show an increasingly shaky labor market, and some experts believe AI could be driving this concern. Caroline Shively reports from Washington.
A jumpy stock market opened Friday with questions on artificial intelligence and how it could change product demand.
AI is an exciting and new technology, and there's a great amount of learning to do here.
AI concerns also hitting the labor market. Federal data released Thursday shows job openings dropped in December to the lowest level since 2020. Many companies are still figuring out how to integrate AI into their companies. Industry leaders in the White House have different views.
Will it eliminate jobs? Yes. Will it change jobs? Yes. Will it add some jobs? Probably. It is what it is.
It'll be the greatest jobs producer. It'll be the greatest military producer. It'll be the greatest medical producer.
Another indicator released Thursday, 231,000 more Americans filed for unemployment last week than the week before. That's still within the historically low range of the last few years, and possibly due in part to the winter storm leaving some temporarily unemployed. Another potential factor, the Trump tariffs.
Manufacturers shed workers in each of the 8 months after President Trump unveiled his tariffs.
The University of Michigan released its preliminary consumer sentiment index Friday morning, showing a slight increase from January to February, but still well below this time last year. Some Republicans are now asking why sentiment isn't more positive.
Consumer confidence is not really rebounding the way that the economy seems to be.
The next data to watch is the employment report out Wednesday, releasing 5 days late thanks to the 3-day government shutdown. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox Chicago.
All right, thanks to Caroline. As we take a look at the New York Stock Exchange right now, look at that, up 1,000 on the day. We will check in with our top business headlines a little bit later in the show, but for now, the White House not ruling out the possibility of ICE agents at polling places during the November midterm elections. This idea was floated earlier this week by Steve Bannon, the former White House strategist, suggested this on his podcast, that ICE, quote, surround the polls come November. And the White House press secretary was asked about Bannon's comments yesterday.
I can't guarantee that an ICE agent won't be around a polling location in November. I mean, that's frankly a very silly hypothetical question. But what I can tell you is I haven't heard the president discuss any formal plans to put ICE outside of polling locations. It's a disingenuous question.
Bannon's comments come after President Trump, his own comments of nationalizing future elections to ensure federal oversight were made, in 1 week after the FBI seized ballots from the 2020 election down in Fulton County, Georgia.
A post shared by President Trump on Truth Social is under fire for showing a racist depiction of Barack and Michelle Obama. This is the video in question. It starts with a clip on alleged voting machine irregularities, but towards the end of that clip, a racist cartoon of the Obamas is shown. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt released a statement saying the clip was part of an internet meme depicting President Trump as the king of the jungle and Democrats as characters from The Lion King. But within the hour, the White House blamed a staffer for that video, and they took the post down.
All right, it's 12:16 as we take a live look outside. It doesn't look too pretty out there. Caitlin, yeah, it does look kind of Arctic, like Natalie said, but it doesn't feel Arctic, right? It's a little warmer, a little bit.
I think there's going to be people in Chicago wearing shorts today. Yeah, we're at 37 degrees. It is warm outside right now. 37 at the lakefront and O'Hare, but it does look gray. Luckily, tomorrow we've got the sunshine, but unfortunately, temperatures are going to be quite chilly, with highs only in the 20s for your Saturday. But right now, some of us are flirting with 40. It's 39 degrees at LaSalle, 37 at Morris, 35 in Kankakee. Northwest Indiana temperatures are in the mid to upper 30s. I see a 36 from Waukegan to Gary, 37 in DeKalb to Woodstock. So the temperatures are actually not too bad, although it is cloudy out there. We now have dry skies, so a break from the precipitation for the most part, with the exception of LaPorte County, where we're seeing that green and pink indicating that mixed precipitation, really some light drizzle from Michigan City into Berrien County there, Michigan. But for the rest of us, we're just talking about the temperatures because they are so nice and mild. Now, We have the potential for a touch of snow throughout the afternoon. As mentioned, it is cloudy, so don't be surprised if you see some flurries out there. But the main story after this afternoon is going to be the temperatures, because we are plummeting down to about 10 tonight. And then tomorrow, as mentioned, highs only in the 20s. Now, looking at our futurecast, I stopped the timeline here at 2 a.m. tomorrow morning because we're seeing some lake effect snowfall returning again from Porter to LaPorte and Berrien County. This is 7:30 in the morning on your Saturday. Again, nice looking. We do have sunny skies, but temperatures are hovering at around 10, and then highs only reaching around the low to mid 20s for Saturday afternoon. Now on Sunday, we have a few more clouds streaming in, and our model is even bringing a touch of snow in. I think most are going to stay dry this weekend. Sunday, though, temperatures noticed by 1:15 already back to about 30. We are going to have partly to mostly cloudy skies, though. So your 3-day forecast, temperatures today hovering in the upper 30s. Some of us tagging 40. Tomorrow, a high of 25 after a morning low of about 10. And then on Sunday, we're back to 32. And if you think the 30s feel good, we are going to be in the mid 40s to start off next week, but not for long. The 30s do return pretty fast. I'll show you that on your full 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, Caitlin, thank you very much. We want to listen in on Mayor Brandon Johnson, who I believe is right outside St. Sabina Church right now in the wake of the ambush killing of a 6-year-old. Let's a 26-year-old. My mistake there. Let's listen to his comments.
Chicago. There's tragedies like this that remind us of how much more work that we have to do. This is not a season to gloat, but it's also not a season to be in despair. That's right. And I just want you all to know, as the mayor of this city, I'm never going to give up on the very communities that are raising our people. I thank God for our police department. I thank God for our community-based organizations. Thank you to our CVI workers who show up on the blocks every single day, not just trying to prevent violence, but investing in people. They don't just show up for the victims, they show up for the entire family. And of course, Father Michael Flager, thank you, brother, for just being who you've been. And so we're going to put our arms around one another, you all. Now. We're still Chicago. Yeah. And no matter how people try to divide us, no matter how people try to conquer us, this is a city that has a profound impact on not just this state, but this country. Amen. Now let's demonstrate what it means to really hold people accountable. Amen. I just want to end with that. We're going to find and bring justice to not just this family, but families across this city who have been struck by violence. We're going to hold those individuals responsible, but that doesn't just mean locking them up. It means making sure that we don't create other individuals that believe the only way in which they can survive in this city is through violence and crime. It's not enough to eliminate violence. We have to replace it with good funded schools and good paying jobs and access to mental health care. Let's not allow this moment to take us or deter us away from what our ultimate goal is, which is to have the safest, most affordable big city in America. And we're going to do that together. Are you with me, Chicago? Show me some expression, Southside. Now, we have partners, you all, at every level of government, and I'm grateful that we have a partner in the Senate. So please, we're bringing to the podium, please welcome State Senator Willie Preston.
First of all, I want to thank
Mayor Brandon Johnson speaking outside of St. Sabina Church at a prayer vigil. This comes after that shocking video that we showed you here on Fox Chicago of 3 armed individuals shooting into a vehicle near St. Sabina Church, killing a 26-year-old mother, her baby in the car unharmed, a man with her also shot. Just a startling scene. And again, the mayor speaking outside of the church there, trying to unite the community in the aftermath of this.
All right, we're going to go to a short break. When we come back, I bet you have faced the ever-dying battery on your cell phone, and there's a new survey out. Which cell phone will last the longest without a recharge? We'll talk about that when we come back. Okay, battery life is make or break for you when choosing a phone. This story is one for you. CNET actually tested 35 smartphones to find the one that actually lasts the longest.
Joining us now is CNET managing editor Patrick Holland. Patrick, let's dive right into the results. What surprised you about them and which phone came out on top?
Yeah, I think what surprised us about is we are seeing more battery life in phones from 2025 than we did in 2024, but it's not a lot. It was less than 1% improvement. And our overall top two brands were Apple and OnePlus. You might not be familiar with OnePlus, but they've been in the U.S. for a number of years, and you can buy them in places like Best Buy or like Amazon and places like that.
Okay, so why don't you, if you wouldn't mind, just kind of breaking down how much better the battery performed in the Apple and the OnePlus than, let's say, the Android or some of the other models that are on the market.
Yeah, absolutely. So OnePlus actually is an Android phone, but they have this really cool battery technology called silicon carbon batteries. They're a Chinese brand, and we see them in a lot of Chinese phones, but they're one of the only few phones sold in the U.S. to have it. So to make our top five, we saw 3 of these phones from OnePlus be in the top 5. And for Apple, the #1 phone you can buy for a battery right now is the iPhone 17 Pro Max. It has the biggest battery ever inside an iPhone. And this is also the most expensive one. So if you want to save a little money, we also had the iPhone 17, which starts at $829, come in a second place tie with OnePlus.
If we want to extend the battery life of our phone, no matter, because there are very few of us that have like the latest and greatest cell phone. Caitlin does because she was forced to upgrade.
Celebrating behind the camera.
But we don't. Anthony just upgraded his iPhone 6, okay?
That's right. So, I went from 6 to 12 last year.
So what can we do to extend the life in general?
I'm just impressed with Anthony. I have so many questions, but I will say that there's a few things you can do. One, if you are on an iPhone, go into settings and battery. And what's neat is after you've used your phone for a while, there's actually recommendations that the phone will make for things you can do, like letting you know that, hey, this certain app takes a lot of your battery life away. The other thing to do is just some basic stuff. Where you use your phone most, at home or at work, look at the bars on it. Are you getting full bars with your cell signal? That is probably the biggest way the battery gets drained is just, if it doesn't have full bars, it's just straining that little extra, just draining your battery a little bit more. Things like screen brightness affect your phone. Of course, how you use your phone is a big one. And if you've had a phone, iPhone or Android for a number of years, check out the battery. There's a setting in battery on the menu there that will let you know exactly how much capacity it has left. And usually you want to be above 90. I think it's around mid 80s is where they start recommending getting that battery replaced.
Okay, great info. Thank you very much. We will take it under advisement. Patrick Holland, appreciate your time, sir. Have a good weekend.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, it's 12:27. We will be back with more news here on Good Day Chicago at noon in just a moment. right, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a great Friday. Here's a look at some of the top stories we are following for you here at noon.
We're approaching 1 week since the mother of Today's Show anchor Savannah Guthrie has disappeared, and the Guthrie family has released a second video begging for her to be safely returned. Authorities say Nancy Guthrie was likely kidnapped from her home in Tucson, Arizona last Saturday. The FBI says a ransom note was sent to TMZ and local TV stations in Tucson. Agencies saying it came with 2 deadlines. One deadline passed yesterday. The next is on Monday.
A federal judge has okayed the release of body cam footage of a woman who was shot by Border Patrol agents in Brighton Park. A Border Patrol agent shot Marimar Martinez during Operation Midway Blitz this past October. The federal government initially charged Martinez with ambushing CBP agents by ramming them with her car, but those charges were later dismissed. Photos and other images in this case will be released as well.
North America's oldest car show is adding something new this year, Chi-Town Alley, celebrating car culture here in Chicago.
Car culture. I could not say that more than 2 times fast. Scott Schneider is at McCormick Place with one of this year's finalists who learned how to do this using manuals and repair books. This is unbelievable. Scott, what are you seeing there?
Well, Anthony and Natalie, year after year, I come to the Chicago Auto Show in pursuit of what's trending. Not this time. This time I am in pursuit of what is timeless. And you mentioned Chi-Town Alley. They're hoping this becomes a permanent fixture here at McCormick. And I'm going to ask Jeff to get a shot of the 6 finalists in their first ever contest. As you mentioned, these are all homegrown vehicles capturing just some of Chicago's rich car culture. And all of these cars, not necessarily vintage, that accurate not, but some of these, forget the computers on wheels. These are old school cars, and that includes this gorgeous 1974 BMW. I'm standing next to the man who not necessarily restored it, he preserved it. His name is Ryder Lamb from Lake Forest. Thanks so much for joining me.
No problem.
Let's talk a little bit about where this car came from and what you've done to bring it back to its glory.
Well, the long story is that this car it is a German/Austrian import. But I got this car I got it in 2021. It's been about 5 years, and it has been one of the greatest project cars I could ever ask for. Just bonding with my dad has been truly amazing.
Let's step over here so that Jeff can get a shot of the interior, because you restored some of the interior, including the dash and the gauges, right?
Yes. So when I got the car, both the speed and the RPM gauges did not work. And a few months ago, I decided enough was enough. So I took it upon myself to attempt to fix it. And I actually did. You can go online and find all the ways to fix them.
And I want to get a shot of the engine. Now, it's not necessarily the engine that came off the line.
No, sir.
It's a work in progress. You've got some of the parts back at the garage. But quickly tell me about the joy you've had in bringing this car back to its luster with your dad.
Oh, man. It has been one of the greatest father-son bonding experiences I could ever ask for. My dad has been there since day one for me, and just being able to wrench on a car in the garage, I mean, there is nothing better than that.
Well, Ryder, I want to thank you for joining me. And before I send it back to the studio, if you are even thinking about coming on down to McCormick, but thinking, it's just the same old thing, and it's all the normal badges, and it's whatever's new, this is something very special. There's a Chicago Car Club here. There's all kinds of old school. If you could really want to sink your teeth into what makes Chicago unique on the car culture side, come on down Chi-Town Alley. There's also a contest, and Ryder's car is one of the 6 finalists. You can judge for yourself which car deserves to be named the winner. This is going to be happening through the entirety of the Chicago Auto Show. I'm so thrilled that they're switching things up for 2026. For now, I'm Scott Schneider here at McCormick. Back to you in the studio.
This is one of my favorite stories to ever come out of the auto show. Scott, that is awesome. We will be pulling for Ryder and his old man.
Thank you, Scott. So good to see you.
Absolutely love that.
Good to see you guys.
I absolutely love that. I've never gotten emotional hearing about a car, something from the Chicago Auto Show,
Right.
but that is so cool. A little bonding with his dad.
I think that it's a story that has been told over and over in Chicago garages of kids working with their dad on the car, and it's just
bonding.
Right, brings generations together.
I just love it. All right. Meteorologist Caitlin Cody is joining us now with a look at that forecast here. What are we doing here for a Friday? I understand it's a little bit warmer out there.
It feels good. Yeah, it just doesn't look good. Tomorrow we're going to flip-flop that, okay? It's going to look good. It's just not going to feel good for Saturday. But it is Friday. We had some snow earlier this morning. Right now, it's definitely still cloudy, but temperatures have been climbing, soaring into the 30s. We have a brief weekend cool down. That's what I was just teasing about. Tomorrow is going to be beautiful with sunshine, but highs only in the 20s. But then the 40s will be here to start off next week. So it's a bit of whiplash with these temperatures. Right now, though, we still have a little bit of light precipitation in LaPorte and Berrien County. You can see that touch of green in eastern LaPorte County. So light rain possible for you. The rest of us are looking dry. Our 24-hour temperature change. We are a whole 13 degrees warmer right now than we were yesterday at this time at the lakefront. 11 degrees warmer from O'Hare to Midway. 10-degree jump in Chicago Heights. 10 degrees warmer in Waukegan as well. Temperatures are ranging in the upper 30s. I haven't seen a 40 yet, but we're getting close. 37 at the lakefront as well as O'Hare right now and Aurora. 34 in Valpo, 36 in Kankakee, 39 at LaSalle. That's our warm spot. We have a touch of a gusty wind happening, though. Right now we're seeing those gusts above 30 miles per hour at times. Take a look at Gary. You have a 32-mile-per-hour wind. 18-mile-per-hour gusts possible from Morris to 17 in Aurora and DeKalb 14 at O'Hare. Over the next 12 hours, winds are going to remain elevated. We could see those 30 to 35-mile-per-hour wind gusts all the way through until about 4 or 5 p.m. Then the winds slowly start to die down, and then tonight around 15 to 20-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So for today, temperatures are going to be in the upper 30s. We have that northwest wind. It's cloudy out there. Tonight, though, we start to clear those skies out. Partly cloudy skies are expected. The wind calms down a touch, still coming in out of the north with lows around 10. And then tomorrow's high, 25. It will be beautiful, though. Sunshine with that north-northwest wind around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's your 7-day forecast. So we have that dip on Saturday, back to 32 on Sunday, which is normal for this time of year. Then we push it 10 more degrees for Monday, a high of 42. Your kids are going to be fighting you to wear shorts on Monday. 48 on Tuesday. Then we have the chance for some wet weather by the middle of next week. It is 12:37. Stay with us.
Welcome back. The city of Aurora is kicking off Black History Month with a special meet and greet honoring Negro League baseball legend Dennis Biddle. Biddle joined the Chicago American Giants at just 17 years old and later spent years traveling the country educating people about Negro League history. The public is encouraged to attend. You can meet Dennis Biddle, learn more about the legacy of the Negro Leagues. This event starts at 6 p.m. It is happening at 20 East Downers Place. Okay, the Super Bowl is now just 2 days away.
And while tens of millions of people from around the world will be watching the game, they'll also be tuning into the halftime show. The New England Patriots taking on the Seattle Seahawks, and Bad Bunny is performing at halftime. Fresh off his historic night at the Grammys last week, Bad Bunny says he is grateful and says that he's going to bring the party.
I feel more excited about the people than even me. They happy because this moment, the culture. I know that the world is going to be happy at this Sunday. They don't even have to learn Spanish. They just, it's better if they learn to dance.
Bad Bunny will not be the only musical act. Right before kickoff, Charlie Puth will sing the national anthem. Coco Jones performing Lift Every Voice and Sing. And Brandi Carlile will belt out America the Beautiful. And all three of them, they're talking about that experience ahead of time.
Will be so cool.
Aurora is celebrating its unique collection of shops and restaurants.
Yes, coming up, we're going to have details on this year's First Friday. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Joe.
We are well into Black History Month, and maybe the sweetest celebration so far is happening in the west suburbs.
It's an annual pancake breakfast for a very good cause out in Aurora. Anita Blanton is in Studio 32 to kick off our Chicago Live show. Anita, take it away.
Hey, guys. Yeah, Urban League is always doing great things throughout the nation and here throughout Chicagoland as well. So I am super glad and quite honored to be able to chat with the Quad County Urban League President and CEO, Theodia Gillespie. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for inviting us.
Absolutely.
So glad that you guys are covering us out here in Aurora. Thank you so much.
I think it's super important, and I love the concept of, celebrating Black history by also investing in the future. Talk a little bit about that.
So yes, so the pancake breakfast, which will be held this weekend, February 7th at one of our community centers, the Fox Valley Park District, the Prisco Center. And so the ideal is that we have a program called Tomorrow Scientists, Technicians, and Managers program that we've been in the community about over 25 years. And the program works with minority students, encouraging them to pursue those particular careers. And so we want to combine our Black History program through our education program, providing leadership, exposure, and allowing students to showcase themselves through this program. So it's not just about having a pancake breakfast, but it's also understanding their history and then how preparing for their future. And so education, community involvement, and developing our future leaders.
All super important. You know, the Quad counties, that would be Kane, DuPage, Kendall, and Will counties. I would love for you to talk a little bit about the importance of your work in those areas.
So yes, you know, because we are outside of Chicago, we have a diverse population. So we want to make sure that all of the opportunities that they may see in Chicago is happening right here in the western suburbs. So we go as far west to Oak Brook, as north to Joliet, and west to Yorktown, and then as far as south to Joliet. So the importance of being able to provide our communities opportunities and exposure, what makes us all alike, and what we have in common, and what we can do together to make sure that our residents have the opportunity, whether this is through education, whether it's through his workforce development, or whether it's through generating wealth through owning a home. Having those tools to be successful individuals for themselves as well as their family.
And those opportunities, you know, go a long way, as you said. I mean, if it's home ownership or something like that, you're literally changing generations. At the breakfast, you mentioned that the students are going to be doing the presentations. I also saw that you're going to do some Black History trivia games. I need to hear a little bit more about that. Are you going really hard on these questions, or are you just, you know, keeping it to like a friendly competition zone?
So it's friendly. It's we have a corporate partner, Navistar, trucking company that provides a game for the students, and they do extremely well, not just for the students, but also for their parents, because it's a family event where communities come in as well. But the highlight of the breakfast this year is that the students created their own game. It's called Legacy Lane, and it's an opportunity for them to showcase what they're going to be continuing to work on throughout the year. But the idea of the game is to show leadership, to have a lane where how they deal with certain adversities, and then how they pivot to be successful. They're excited about, they're going to present it to the community, asking for feedback. This is the first year that they've done this, and they're really excited to showcase this to the community about some great things that they've been working on together to really continue to show the legacy of their community, and then how they continue to write the history in future years.
Legacy Lane sounds absolutely amazing. And are tickets still available? I want to make sure everybody gets the chance to get there if they can.
Oh, absolutely. You can go on our website and purchase tickets, and it's going to be a fun family event, and you will enjoy understanding your history and knowing where we go from here.
Okay, President Gillespie, great talking with you today. Thank you for all of your hard work year-round.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a wonderful time in the morning. We certainly hope that everyone has a great time at the Prisco Community Center in Aurora there for that great event that's happening on Saturday morning, and celebrating how far we've come, but of course also these young, talented teens who are going to be the ones who are taking us forward. We're also talking on Chicago Live about the big debate over surveillance cameras in Woodstock, the rising frustration concerning the delivery robots in Lincoln Park. Have you tripped over one yet? I saw one just the other day. I'm like, wait, what is that? You have to figure it out on the fly. The urban coyotes that are starting to be spotted because, you know, it's the week before Valentine's, and it appears people might not be the only ones who are in the mood for love right now. We've got plenty more to come on Chicago Live between 1 and 4 p.m. Everyone, you can catch us on YouTube, the Fox Local app, or on Fox32Chicago.com. I'm going to see you at 1 o'clock, but Natalie and Anthony will be right back after this break.
no matter.
Welcome back. First Fridays returns to downtown Aurora with art, music, shopping, and free community events.
And joining us now to talk about what to expect, we have Danielle Tufano with the Aurora Downtown District. Danielle, happy Friday to you, or should I say happy first Friday. What exactly is this series of events here?
So First Fridays is a super fun event that is put on in downtown Aurora. It's like an open house, basically, where our businesses and our cultural institutions and community spaces, they're opening their doors and they're offering creative and cultural, educational, these interactive experiences for people all throughout the downtown.
Give us some examples of the experiences for February's First Friday event.
Yeah, so there's a free concert happening at the venue. Jake Mack is going to be there. The Mercado Market is happening at Society 57. It's basically mostly Hispanic vendors that are coming together with their offerings, their products, their services. One thing that my boyfriend is super excited about, because he's a history buff, our Grand Army of the Republic Military Museum, they have a brand new exhibit called Standard Issue America's Fighting Rifles. So definitely people who are history buffs will want to check that out. Dueling pianos at Aurora Tap House. There's restaurants that have food specials and drink specials. And really, this event is to focus on art and entertainment and culture that we have in downtown Aurora.
And I understand it's put on by your organization, the Aurora Downtown District, but you partner with the city itself. How does that partnership work?
Yeah, so the City of Aurora and the Aurora Downtown District really work closely together to support the downtown businesses with marketing, advocacy, and event planning. And so we're in this organization is in the process of finally being set up as a 501c4 to really serve the downtown community. And the City of Aurora uses tax funds that come in from property owners in the downtown to fund these efforts, these special services in the downtown. So it's a really close working relationship to make sure that we can best support our downtown businesses.
I read that there were no events in January, so we're gearing up here for February. How long do people have to check these out? How long is this going on for every Friday?
Typically, First Fridays runs 5 to 9, but some of the businesses stay open later. Some of them start a little bit later. So if you go to auroradowntown.org/First Fridays, there's a list there, and most of the businesses specify the different times. Like our dueling pianos at Aurora Tap House is starting a little bit later, more because that's a nightlife experience, but you can find everything at auroradowntown.org.
Yeah, you don't want to go to the dueling pianos too early.
Okay,
you got to warm up a little bit. Okay. Danielle, thank you so much. Hope it's a blast.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right, we're coming up on 1 p.m. We're going to take a quick break. We'll check back in with Caitlin when we get back. Stay with us.
Today is National Wear Red Day. It's an annual campaign by the American Heart Association to raise awareness for women's heart health. Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death in women, claiming more lives than all cancers combined. Doctors say managing blood pressure, cholesterol, and body mass index can lower your risk for heart disease.
Okay, it's 12:58. We have a few moments left to get one final check of this Friday forecast from Caitlin Cody.
And it's kind of gray out there this early afternoon, but the temperatures, they feel great. We are sitting in the upper 30s at the lakefront and O'Hare, so some of us at 39 degrees. We're going to be seeing a couple of us at 40 this afternoon, which is wonderful. But we had snow this morning. Still could be slick out there in a few spots. So keep that in mind when you're driving around, even just walking to get the mail later on. Take your time. Northwest Indiana, you're looking at 35 degrees at Valpo, 37 in Gary. As we round the lake towards Michigan City, this is where we have the potential for a little bit of drizzle still over the next few hours. But the rest of us are dry and cloudy. This weekend, 50-50 temperature-wise. Tomorrow, a high of 25, but it will be beautiful with sunshine. Then we're back to